Hello and welcome, peoples of the internet. I am Tutila, and here with me is...
Gabby Payne, yay!
And we're going to be playing Katawa Shoujo. It's a visual novel, and to preface this, the adult content is disabled, so just keep that in mind. Google it if you really want to see it, or play the game yourself. But for now, just watch us and let's begin. The voices might be a bit...
off.
We're not professionals.
We don't have any range.
A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wood chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer.
Deciduous.
Deciduous trees provide... Already.
You can't read.
Get out. Get out! Provide a beautiful green canopy, far out of sight of teachers and fellow students.
I'm sorry, isn't it snowing?
But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together, furiously to prevent them from numbing in the cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah yes, the note. Slipped between the pages of my map book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently fall from the white-painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. Wow, indeed. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like the time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Oh.
I know where this is going.
Well, this is, I assume it's a girl.
Hisao? You came?
It's Hisao, right? Yeah. A hesitating,
Oh.
barely audible question.
Supposed to be barely audible.
Doesn't matter. It told you after the fact. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat.
I feel like her voice should be... I don't know.
It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdrop to a conversation. Well, she's not a very important character, so you can do whatever you want with her. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. She doesn't even have a face, see?
Well, she has black hair.
See how unimportant she is? I want to go. I got a note telling me to wait here.
Is it a wanna go or I wanna go?
It doesn't matter. She's unimportant. It was yours? Damn it. I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result? Pathetic.
Yes. I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it.
A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense. I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. It's beautiful.
Keep coughing.
I thought that was a heartbeat, see?
That is a heartbeat.
My heart is pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out from my chest and claim this girl for itself. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches, the cacophonous noise is music to my ears. I want to go flinches over so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force out a word if I tried.
You see,
You can't see me.
I wanted to know if you'd go out with me.
I stand there, motionless save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point.
Hisao?
I reach up to try to massage my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms.
Hisao?
My whole body freezes, save for my eyes which shoot open in terror.
Hisao!
Yelling isn't gonna solve anything. The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees.
Oh, she killed him.
The road around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, I want to go running toward me. All these fade to black. He's so dramatic. The last things I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwanko screaming for help and the incessant clatter of the branches above.
Yep, that's the end of the story.
Heart attack. Well,
The end.
you know, I'm
Best
going to give it
story
at least an 8 out of 10. I mean, it was a bit much. But, oh. 4-Leaf Studios. Oh.
You skipped it. Good job.
I thought it... I didn't
Well,
think it was...
we skipped the intro, so.
Sorry about that, guys. Maybe I'll edit. No, I probably won't later. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. Whoa! He had a heart attack. He's like, what, 12, 15? And that whole time, I could probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts, so I had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign, alien one that you don't want to be in the same room with. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It could be fatal. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and the get well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Iwanako was the last to stop visiting. Ooh, man. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again.
6 weeks?
We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyways. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. Wow, that's just the heart of awkward if you don't talk about it. The hospital, it's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them. But it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I'd idly observed this scar that those surgeries had left on my left chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of an omen. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough. Now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply, the way he shuffles around, the answer shows that there's at least some hope. At some point, I've stopped watching TV. I don't know why. I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. Man, he's monologuing.
He's so depressing.
I don't care. I will be out. I studied reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the outside weather. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it.
Talks a lot.
Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages in my book would start to feel sharp and burning, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the books aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely.